Listeners of the Randomness of Nothing podcast, this is your host, Rashad Woods. I've always had the pleasure of talking to people from different walks of life who know exactly what they wanted to do and went out and sought and did it. And this man is the epitome of it. From our neighbors up north in Canada, Mr. Matt Diamante. He's he's created his own marketing agency. He has 600,000 social media followers, and he's going to give you some insight and tips on how you can elevate and scale your brand and business. Thank you, sir.
Amazing. Also, I had no idea what I wanted to do. That's like my journey was just kind of like an accident. So I'm just going to start there.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, sometimes those are the best kind.
Yeah. I mean, like, does anybody really know? I feel like it's kind of BS if somebody's like, I know exactly what I want to do, and they go and do it, because most of the time we end up in a different role or in a different position in life than we thought we would.
Right. And more importantly, sometimes what's tugging at your heart, you'll keep gravitating towards, kind of, right? So you'll try to like resist it, and then finally it keeps tugging at you, or you find out you're kind of good at something, and then you're just doing it, kind of a deal, and then it becomes,
or you enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. You created Hey Tony, which is really an intriguing name, by the way. I don't know how that even came up to fruition. I'd love to hear that. But let's get your background.
So like I can start like kind of at the beginning, because I feel like that's relevant to how I kind of got here. So back in the day, and I say the day, like we're talking like 2009 at this point, I actually went to college for HVAC, so heating and cooling. And I was like, this is going to be my life. I'm going to be working on furnaces, air conditioners, all this kind of stuff. And so I did my first year of that. Day 2 of the second year, I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not crawling around people's basements. I'm not working on furnaces. Like I enjoyed like the mechanics, like doing stuff like with your hands and like connecting the wires and figuring out the problem, all that kind of stuff. But I'm like, I don't want to, do that kind of thing. And the whole point of taking that was like, so you're in Detroit. I grew up in Windsor. We're basically neighbors. These towns are very much like, well, I don't know necessarily about Detroit now, but they're very much like, get a trade job, work in a factory that you can make good money. You leave your work at work, all that kind of stuff. And I was like, I don't think I want to do that. But that's like kind of where these societies are pushing people.
It's an industrial area, right? It's an industrial region.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's not like, I have no qualms with people doing that, loving doing that, all that kind of stuff. Like we need those people. And for me, I was like, I don't want to do this. So I drop out of college. My mom's like, what do you mean you're dropping out? Like, we paid for you to go to college. You can't drop out. I'm like, there's still time to get a refund. Yeah. It's within 7 days or whatever of the start of the semester. Yeah. So they get a refund, and she's like, what are you going to do? I'm like, I don't know. I'm going to figure something out. So at the time I was in a band, and I'm like, the band's going to be the thing. We're going to play Warped Tour, which isn't around anymore. We're going to play Warped Tour. We're going to do all this kind of stuff. And nothing really ever materialized with that. But while I was kind of working on that journey, or on that, I guess we'll call it a journey, while I was working on that, I was trying to figure out other jobs that I could do. So the girl I was dating from high school at the time, her mom is a lawyer. And she was like, oh, we need a process server. And I was like, okay, what is that? She's like, you literally go, like, have you seen, oh my God, what's it called? Not 40-Year-Old Virgin. The one where Seth Rogen like delivers papers and he has to dress up. Oh my! Do you know that movie?
I probably have seen it, but the name escapes me at the exact moment. But I probably have seen it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. So it's literally like driving around to people who weren't paying their alimony and stuff like that, and being like, "Hey, you have to go to court. You're being sued, or you're being summoned, whatever." So I did that for like a year, where I was literally driving around, and like I was like running my own business. I had like a printer in my car back in the day with like the AC adapter and like the plug and like all this kind of stuff. And I had to get a laptop and all that. So I was like driving around, and I was like, cool, I'm making like $100 every time I deliver one of these. This is great. And so I did that for a while. Then I was like, you know what? My parents are really bothering me. Go back to college, like get some kind of something. And I'm like, fine, I'm gonna. And so I had like an actual brochure, or like a not a pamphlet, but it was like almost like a book of like, here's all the courses at St. Clair College in Windsor. And I was like, what can I take that would help my band? That would help me like do something
Right. Navigate
like
the
positive for
nuances.
that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not
And I
just
was like, okay, they're
playing,
going to,
but being in the business side of it.
for sure. So I was like, okay, well, what can I take? And I was like, oh, advertising. It was like one of the first ones in the book. I was like, yeah, that sounds good. That like I can help. That would help me advertise the band.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, in this band, we were doing things like going door to door selling our CD. Like we were like doing everything. We were making YouTube videos. Like here's us in the studio, and it was like a friend's studio down the road. Like nothing crazy. Like we're driving to the studio. We're gonna go record.
Yeah,
Like so we were doing.
But you don't know what you don't know, right? So that's
Yeah.
Everybody has a start. So you're being creative.
100%. So I was like, okay, advertising, that makes sense. And then with that, sorry, I'm like, where's my journey go from there? With that, advertising. Oh my God, I just lost my train of thought. Don't you hate when that happens, especially when you're recording a podcast?
But that's the beauty of having this show. It's authentic, right? It's not scripted. So you said you're going door to door. You're trying to figure out the business side to help your band out and everything.
So let's talk about now. Like I'm in school for advertising. I have a course on SEO, and they teach you a little bit about all these different things like Photoshop, Illustrator, SEO, building websites, all this. And for me, I don't know what it was, but I kind of fell in love with SEO, and the band kind of fizzled at the same time. And then I got an internship working with one of the teachers because he had a business on the side as well.
Yeah.
And I was doing SEO, I was doing social media. And then when I graduated the program, I moved to Toronto. And for those of you who aren't from Toronto, it's Toronto, I guess is how other people say it. Toronto.
Yeah.
Also, how do you say Detroit?
Just Detroit.
Do you say Detroit?
Just Detroit.
Detroit.
Nobody really gets into like the nuances of like the hard E.
Yeah.
It's just Detroit, right? So
I'm like Detroit basketball, right? Like
until Sunday night, right? Until Sunday night. Yeah. That fiasco.
So with that, sorry, I'm going all over the place. You're gonna have to rein me in.
No, it's all good. That's what we make the show for.
Hell yeah. So yeah, I moved to Toronto. I do social media, and like I'm working at like traditional agencies and stuff like that, just like as internships. And I was like, I hate this so much. This is the worst. Like I just went to school for 3 years, like loved some of it, didn't like some of it, and then like really hated the industry. So I left the industry. My friend was shooting a movie in Windsor, and he's like, why don't you come work on my movie? And I was like, cool, what can I do? He's like, you can be the production coordinator, which I later learned is like a crazy role. Like it's very intensive in the real world. I worked on this movie for like a month or whatever. And then after that, I was like, I come back to Toronto. I'm like, what do I do? Right. I had a couple freelance, like social media clients or SEO clients and stuff like that, but it wasn't enough to pay the bills. I'm like, I don't know, like, what do I do? So a friend of mine was like, hey, I can get you driving trucks for commercials. And I was like, because he worked at an ad agency, and he's like, yeah, like the whatever production company will hire whoever we want them to hire, basically. And I was like, sick, let me do that.
You have a pulse and a license. You're qualified.
Yeah. I'm like, you're trusting me to drive this big ass truck full of like hundreds of thousands of dollars of gear and cameras and all. I'm like, okay, yeah, let's do it. So I did that for maybe like, it was probably like 6 months, but it was so inconsistent. I was like making great money, like $300 a day or whatever it was. But like I would maybe work like 2 days in a week and then like not work for another like 2 or 3 weeks. So I was like, okay, like I have just enough money to scrape by. That's not working out. And then long story short, I met this guy who was working at a publication, which is a fancy way of saying a blog. And they were looking for an SEO person. And I was like, cool, I'm going to like pitch these guys. And I was like, yeah, $400 a week. Like I'll come in, I'll do whatever SEO stuff, all this stuff. And like, we have $125. And I don't know why, but I was like, okay, I'll do it. $125 a week. Yeah. It's like no money. I don't know if that was legal or what, but I was willing to do it.
Right.
And that led to me and a couple other guys who were like freelancing there, pitching the owners to invest in a new publication, a new blog, basically.
Yeah.
Which like, and you can tell my story started with like heating and cooling in a band, and now I'm like pitching like investors basically.
See, but that story resonates because you know what it is that a guy from Windsor who was just trying to navigate the regular trials and tribulations of life found out what worked, found out what didn't work, was unhappy, but instead of sitting on his couch being unhappy about being unhappy, was like, hey, man, caution to the wind. Let's see where this goes.
You ever see those, or I don't know if they still play them, but the Everest Institute commercials where it's like, hey, you sitting on your couch right now.
Yeah.
Like, it's the middle of the day. You're like, damn it. They know exactly who I am.
Well, they also had their own separate issues when it came to, those places no longer exist. But the theme of it obviously spoke to, what?
Get off your couch and pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Apply today.
Absolutely.
But anyways,
that's so funny.
I love that we have that, like the pop culture of that area in common. It's so good. And Verner's. Oh my God, Verner's. So good.
Yeah.
Can't get that everywhere.
Yeah. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So
I feel like we're like cutting out. And
no, I'm going to edit it. I am so sorry. This thing suddenly just decided to take a crap.
No, you're good.
Let's take a look.
It's all good.
Okay. Sorry. We'll edit that out. So now you're sitting back pitching these investors, and then what led to, now you got some momentum, so to speak, right? You're going on, you're like, hey man, when did you realize there's kind of a there?
So with the publication, so we pitched these investors and they're like, they didn't really give us an amount of money to work with. They're like, as long as you guys are working on this thing and it's getting more traffic and it's getting more money, we'll continue paying the bills. And we're like, what does that mean? Okay. Is that like $100,000? Is that $1 million? We don't know. So just like a series of like a bunch of people just trying to figure things out. Yeah. But anyways, so by we launched that in like July 2014, I think. And by December, we were getting like 4 million visitors to the site organically per month, which is crazy. Like I registered the domain, I built the site. There was a lot of like trials and tribulations that happened along the journey, like the server crashing or the ads not being set up properly and like losing money and like all this kind of stuff. Also, if you ever hit the front page of Reddit, that's what they call the Reddit hug of death, where like it's like, here's all this traffic and your site's like, can't handle it. I'm shutting down. Bye.
Dang. Yeah. So you went through that, right? Where you're like, oh my God.
Went through that a bunch of times. Wow. So with all that, then I'm like, cool. I'm like doing SEO for this. I'm doing social media. I'm doing all this kind of stuff. And then it kind of fizzled out after a couple years because it's really expensive to run a publication. Like we had partnerships with Google Plus back in the day, like all these like big companies, like Vice was like, let us sell your ads for you. And like the biggest media company in Canada, Chorus at the time, was like, hey, we want to partner with you. We want to push your content out. We want to do all this stuff. Wow. So we're like, 25 years old or younger, just like, cool. We're sitting in boardrooms like in New York City with like Vice, and we're like, we got our feet up on the table and like we're like the big shots basically.
Far cry from,
which was hilarious.
Far cry from driving trucks, in Windsor on a film set, right?
I know.
But
it's
what makes it so fascinating about you articulating all that? And I say this respectfully, right? Because we have similar backgrounds. It's not like you could tap anybody on the shoulder and say, how do you handle all this, right? Like, right?
No.
So like, you're like, okay, I guess kind of this sucked. This didn't work, right? It's not like you can call the executive uncle or grandfather to like mentor you and be like, do this.
There's nobody.
No. So you're just like, yeah, that stunk. Yeah, I got burned. Yeah, I got cooked. And then after a couple, you're just learning it along the way.
100%. And like, the thing too is, so once that fizzled out, I like was freelancing, got a client who was like just paying the bills plus a little bit more. I was also in like crazy credit card debt. It's not like maybe as crazy as some people, but it was like $12,000. My credit card was maxed out, couldn't use it, all this kind of stuff. Had just enough money for rent. And so I was freelancing, and when you're freelancing, you're like, okay, well now I'm running a business. And eventually I had too many clients, and it was all referral, because people are like, oh yeah, Matt does that. Like he knows how social media, or he knows SEO, or he knows Google ads. And from that point, I had too many clients. So I hired my first person. And when you're starting a business, nobody tells you. People are like, yeah, you can write it off. You don't have to pay tax. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do this. And so I was just spending all the money I was making, like not saving any for taxes or like sales tax or anything like that. And then in Canada, the CRA,
Yeah.
the Canada Revenue Agency, they
Yeah.
hit me with okay, well, you owe us this money. And I'm like, whoa. Like nobody,
Yeah.
nobody told
Nobody.
me this. They're like, yeah,
Yep, you had a registered business, sir, and these are the things that you had come along with it. And you're like, oh my gosh, how did I not know? You don't
yeah.
know.
And even like the business owners I was talking to, like they're at like a different level, right? They're like way up here and I'm like scraping by at the bottom. And so these are probably things that they didn't think of for a long time, right? And I'm like, oh, what do you mean I have to pay tax? Like I'm making like poverty. I'm making like 20, I think I made like $30,001 or whatever. And once you hit that, you have to charge sales tax on all the money you made.
Gosh.
So it's like you either go back to all the people that paid you money and say, you owe me tax, or you eat it. So I ate it because I'm like, I don't feel right.
Your credibility would have been shot. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just stuff like that. And then, yeah. And that was from like 2018 where I kind of started the agency until 2020 and end of 2022. Where it was just all referral. There was like high highs, low lows, like me having panic attacks, laying on my kitchen floor, heart beating like 120 beats a minute, literally laying down because I'm freaking out. Do I need to hire somebody? Do I need to fire somebody? Like, do I have work coming in? Is the work good enough? Like, all this kind of stuff that you're dealing with when you trust other people to do the work for the first time.
And, those are, it's crazy because when you're building something off the ground, even like something as, like I'm fortunate enough that I have a podcast, right? I don't have a service, so to speak, to sell, but I have to sell myself, right? And so every time, I book, every time I have to be prepared, every time I have to get a guest on, I have that same, type of moment where I'm like, this could be the person that could elevate the show. This could be the moment that, because it's real, right? And it's just you. And I don't have a co-host. I don't have, hey, I'm having a bad week, a bad month, hey,
gotta show up.
I'm going to take it on the chin for 3 weeks. You'll be good. The show will be fine. Like, no, if it sucks, it's because of Rashad. You know what I'm saying? Like, straight up truth.
It could be the guest. There could be a bad guest.
That'll be me saying that off camera, right? That'll never say me, be like, but
yeah.
Having said all that, it rises and falls with me,
Yeah,
it really does. And so,
well,
go ahead, please.
So I was just gonna say, with that in mind, like rises and falls with me, like I was having to pay people even if we didn't have the work coming in because I hired them full time, or I had to pay a freelancer like double the rate,
right?
And make less money and have less cash flow, all this kind of stuff. So with that in mind, I was like, I want like a tap that I can turn on. Leads come in, I sell some people. I have more opportunity to choose who I want to work with rather than like, I'll take anybody. Good clients, bad clients, all this stuff. And then, so in late 2022, I kind of saw like, okay, I know I need to do something. I don't know what it is. And I wasn't even doing my own SEO at the time, which is crazy. I was just like at a one-page website, like, yeah, work with us. I'm like, my marketing is $0, all this kind of stuff. So I saw something happening in late 2022 where I was like, I need to make a change. So I had already been reading a bunch of business books. And in January 2023, I read 2 books. The One Thing that's the name of the book, The One Thing. And then Jab, 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 Right Hook by Gary Vee.
Oh, wow.
And those 2 books together like really motivated me. Like, okay, all I need to do, and like this is what I took away from it. Other people will take away different things, but all I need to do is post videos on social media every single day.
Wow.
They say it's going to work, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And then you'll have unlimited leads coming in. Like you'll make more money, you'll be able to grow, you can scale, whatever you want to do. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to commit to doing this for a year because like I know like marketing takes time and especially organic stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like the first 3 months I was posting 1 video every single day. It would take me like 4 hours to come up with the topic, figure out what I was going to say,
Brutal.
Edit it. Yeah. And I'm talking like a minute to 2 minute, like short form videos filmed with my phone.
Yeah.
Like nothing crazy. And then, so 3 months in, I was like, I got like 100 followers. Nothing popped off. I'm like in the 200 view jail where I'm not getting a lot of views. And the content just wasn't good. And then I was like, I need to cut the learning curve. So 3 months in, I was like, I'm going to post 3 videos a day.
Beautiful.
And I was telling a buddy and he was like, that's crazy. Who wants to see that much content? And I'm like, I don't know. I need to figure this out faster though.
Exactly.
So for the next 3 months, 3 videos a day. So now we're 6 months in. I haven't seen that much growth. I'm at like 1,500 followers. Like not much is happening. Oh, and also in January, we fired our biggest client, which was like $250,000 a year worth of work. So
Wow.
yeah, I forgot to say that part. So I was losing $10,000 every single month that I was like taking this risk or hedging these bets on this social content needs to work, or I need to figure out something else to do. By 6 months in, 1,500 followers, nothing really popped off. I had like a couple videos get like 5,000 views, which I was like, oh, this is sick. Like I'm famous now. This is amazing.
Isn't that great? Isn't that funny?
Yeah. And then I was ready to be like, you know what? Like this isn't worth it. Like it's taking up so much of my time, which I had a lot of time at the moment, but like I was like, I don't like it's not working. But then I was like, you said you were going to do this for a year.
Yep.
So just like another 6 months, you can do this.
Yes.
A week later, so I think it was June 2023, one of the videos hit like 1 million views. And then a week after that, another video hit 1 million views. I went from 1,500 to 15,000 followers in like that week or that 2 week span.
Oh my!
And I was like, all right, okay, what was working in those videos? Okay, I'm going to do more of that.
Yeah,
and you can see like all the videos are still up. Like not every video I posted after that did well. Like some of them still like 200, 300, 400 views. And then I just kept trying to make more stuff like the stuff that worked. And by the end of 2023, I had like 100,000 followers.
That's insane.
I hired like 4 or 5 people. I had so much work and inquiries coming in. It was insane. And then I was having panic attacks for different reasons. I was like, oh shit, what do I do with all of this?
Right. Now I got to keep this up. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, it's Larry David in Seinfeld. Well, not in Seinfeld, the co-creator of Seinfeld. He would always like, every time the Seinfeld got picked up for the next season, like in the first couple seasons, he was like, what are we going to like, now I got to write a whole other season of this show. Like I have no ideas. Like, what are we going to do? This is like, I'm going to quit. Right. So it's like, that's the same kind of feeling where it's like, oh, now I got to keep making videos.
Yes.
Now I got to keep taking on clients and doing the work and hiring people and like all this stuff. And then it got to a point I hired somebody to help me like manage the day to day, help me manage the team, all this kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, now I can breathe.
Yeah.
And I thought I could breathe at that point, but I was still like doing the sales calls, making videos, all this kind of stuff. And last year in 2025, I hired a salesperson and I haven't been on a sales call since, which has been great.
Breath of fresh air.
Yeah. And all like, if anything, all I need to do every day now is make videos on my phone and post them to social media. And we get clients. I have no idea who they are. I mean, like when we get them, I mean, so I still like know
there's the
who
inquiry,
are,
but there's the sales funnel process of getting those people in where you're not directly related, and then once they come on board, then you familiarize yourself with them. So it's not like you're hands off, but it's like, listen, you're not doing the direct, contact, so to speak. So what's fascinating about that is throughout all of that and all of what you've accomplished, it's just a small, simple principle that people can take away from the show. And that is start and stick with it. And I think too often, because of this pressures of the need for now, the need for social media, the need for instant gratification, once people don't see certain things, like they get discouraged very quickly. Yeah. Because they expect to be an overnight sensation when in fact it's 10 years in the making.
100%. I have friends, I have family who like jump from thing to thing. They're chasing the money. And I'm like, if you would have stuck with that thing that we talked about 2 years ago that you started, like you'd probably be fine.
Yeah. I mean, this podcast is, living proof that I was like, I'm going to stick it through and I have to give the same quality experience if one person's listening versus, 1,000 people. And because of that, I'm able to talk to you and, Hey, Tony is a social media marketing company. And I've seen some of your videos, right? And I think people overcomplicate things when they want to try to make something successful. This is how I've kind of worked in the podcasting space, and I'm not at the top of the mountain. Just do one thing really well. Just find one thing and try to, and I'm not saying you have to be great, but feel comfortable doing it and say, I can do this consistently over and over again and use that as an information platform to then segue. And then you hire people who are better than you. Which is what you do.
And I would say, don't even feel comfortable doing it. Don't even feel like I'm the best at this. just start doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, get off the couch, you watching, listening right now, get
Yeah.
off the couch and go make a video and post it on social media.
Yeah.
Like, it's like literally go on my go on my Instagram, scroll all the way to the end, and like the first video is me sitting on a toilet, like fully clothed, obviously, sitting on a toilet. My wife is filming me, and it's me talking, and it's almost a message to myself being like, it doesn't matter what you're doing right now, pull out your phone and film a piece of content and post it to the public.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
just like you need to get the reps in. Like, you don't
Yes.
get jacked
Yeah.
by going to the gym once and being like, okay, well, I guess I mastered that.
Yeah, right. No, it's repetition and consistency. And then the other thing about it is too, is the world has been democratized by the social media process, the good parts of social media, the good ways of being able to actually organically grow and scale. The good things that have been, it doesn't matter how tall you are. It doesn't matter if you're, what you really look like. All that matters is you're consistent and you put something out there for people to listen. So you can start on the toilet. You can start in the car. You can start at the gym. You can start, in your basement. All you have to do is understand that, and then don't compare yourself to the people that are already out there. Right. The gatekeepers, are who they are. But at the same time, you don't have to wait your turn, so to speak, when it comes to standing in line, hoping that somebody will pick your show up or be your client. You're like, hey, man, I'm going to go directly to the people,
Yeah.
So where can people find Matt Diamante and Hey Tony?
On the internet, everywhere. Just if you go to Google, type in Matt Diamante, or I'm assuming show notes, my name will be in here somewhere. Just Google that. I'm on all the social media platforms. I post there daily. Like, you'll see. Yeah, you'll see me.
I think the beautiful part about it is that, here you are, in a hoodie, a guy who came from, working class roots that was like, yeah, I went to community college. It sucked. It wasn't for me, but I kind of stumbled. I mean, seriously. People have to understand that successful people, a lot of them came from the same background that you're in right now. They didn't drop out of space and suddenly, hit the top of the mountain, so to speak. They're like, dude, I was, for lack of a better term, slumming around with my friends. And then I just got tired of it. Right. And then I decided I needed to make a different pivot in life. And so that's what this show is all about, to get those perspectives and to teach people that your story is not done being written.
Yeah. You're writing your own story.
You are. And it's very important to captivate that. And man, this is what the show is all about. I'd love to do a part 2 with you, because I think we can dive into some other deeper details.
I think we have to at this point.
I think I really do, because I need to know about those film sets, and I'd love to try to get you some clients and partner together in some manner too.
Hell yeah.
So
amazing.
I really appreciate that. Matt Diamante on the Randomness of Nothing podcast. This is Rashad Woods. If you like it, subscribe. As always, it's been a pleasure to have you on. So
thank you so much. This was so fun.
It was awesome, man. Stay warm up in Toronto too. I know it's weather fluctuates like it does in Detroit. Take it easy, brother. Bye.